Hey everybody, I'm Todd and thanks for tuning in to my show today. I'm gonna totally blow your mind today with something that I just can't even believe happened. The BC Film Commission had a major film production, a major feature film, stopped filming. If you know about British Columbia is Hollywood North. Vancouver, they film X-Men there, they film Planet of the Apes, they film major productions in British Columbia, and the British Columbia Film Board wouldn't allow people to shoot in a particular area called the Bugaboos because Sasquatch are there, and the Sasquatch intimidated and did so much damage to a major Hollywood production that they left. So I went and started to investigate this area. I'll tell you the whole thing after. First, we're going to look at tracks, some structures. After some women had a really cool encounter, they called me up, and I went out there and started to investigate it, got mind blown by all the structures and tracks and breaks and all the evidence of Sasquatch. And then the BC Film Commission capped it all off, and I'll tell you all about it right after going through this evidence. So enjoy this video. It's going to be a fun one today. Stay tuned. Looks like a huge break, and I've seen 10 of these breaks. What I'm seeing here is what I would consider to be impossibly natural. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 12 of these trees that are not from here. They've been dragged over here. I mean, there's no way they fell from any place. So this is a really intricate structure with multiple breaks in it. There's also the possibility, what I'm seeing too, is there's many of these trees have fallen down. I can see trees that were dragged here that have no roots that have really fallen down, which, you know, also indicates that this was a structure that was pretty magnificent at one point, and then weather happens and it falls apart. But I'm quite impressed with this. I'm seeing some interesting bends. See that? There's a bent branch over there, or a bent tree. And then just even off of this break here, I mean, that can randomly happen. I've seen tonight or today, this is the 5th tree that I've seen that's of that size and broken. This one's not pointed in any specific direction, but there's also stuff going on here that I do not comprehend. I've never seen structures built off of breaks like I did today. So this is also a little odd. This is one of the dozens and dozens of breaks that we've seen all through this area. They're all pointing east or west, precisely. And this area stands out to me like a sore thumb. I bet when it was built, even look at this, for God's sake. Look at this. I mean, this is crazy. This is just not natural. There's no way this happened naturally. You can't. Really, look at this. Look at these two right here. Look at this. They have no roots whatsoever.
Todd?
Yes?
I don't want to interrupt you, but I think there's a massive footprint right here.
Okay, we'll come look at that in a second. I mean, just somebody came in here and went nuts and played and played and played. Look at this structure. Oops. Look, everything's intertwined. It's amazing. And look again, look. There's no bloody root there. That tree has no root. It came from nowhere. This tree was jammed in there with all these other trees. Look at this one, bent, twisted around. Totally amazing. And again, it's bent. This tree is bent from this tree, which has no root, which was dragged there when you follow it down. So, and now here's another one too. Look at this. This tree has no root again, and this tree is bent. Look at the bend in that. Wow, so crazy.
totally crazy stuff. And again, you have to take into account that this is probably all fallen down. When this was fresh and built, this is crazy power. Like amazing power to come in and jam these logs, twist and bend all these things. This is really impressive. With the tree breaks, I'm at a point now, understand, where I just came in here. I just saw 4 exceptional, amazing tree breaks from a big, heavy Sasquatch that indicates to me a big dominant male. They've shown me the pictures of the tracks I haven't seen yet, and I'm still here looking at the structure. I got to get into this place. This is going to be amazing. This could be, this feels like the biggest find of my career. 45 minutes from my house. And here, as I stand beside broken log number 18, 19, 20, is what I would consider to be the smoking gun. A 14-inch Sasquatch track, about a year old, maybe 2. Right there. Clear, clear, clear Sasquatch track. So, from here to here, I agree it's 14 inches. The width of it is about 4 inches. And look at that. You can see the toes in there. So, just to get you the perspective, so I'm going to take this out now. So here we've got the toes across the top, and right down and around, them to the bottom of the heel and across. Really nice indentation. Look at the moss, the way it separates in. That's broken moss and damaged. That's from a heavy footprint to have lasted that length of time. And you can see by the debris that's fallen into it. This is new debris. This is old debris. So this stick is new debris in there. It would have broken if it would have been involved in the track. So it's new debris. So an older track. It could have very well been this 14-incher that built this structure. So Sasquatch track, Sasquatch structure. Welcome to my new Bigfoot habitat. Let's go cast a track. Oh, we're not done. This huge mess of trees over here is what brought me over and attracted me to this area. Something I didn't see, because you can't see it from the trail, is, oh, look at this. I see 4, 5, 6 trees again that have been dragged over. And most importantly, this is now a freaking shelter. This isn't even a structure anymore. Forget about structures. This is a shelter. Branches have been dragged into there. This is... And look, right here, again, you can't see this when you walk past it because it's covered up. Like the trail is over. The trail is over on this side, so you can't see it from the other side. But I'll do a quick little pan. Look at that. So there's our structure. Right in here was our track, 14-inch track structure. And again, I'll just pan real nice. That does not happen natural. There's another Sasquatch track. Look at the toes. I mean, this is a small one. Now what's really nice is, so here's my foot beside this Sasquatch foot. So mine's about a 12-inch. This track is smaller than me. So now what we're seeing is, let's put the tape measure on there, please.
Hey, for perspective, since I'm in here, can you do this now?
No, just give me 1 second, please. So what's that length? That's 10-inch. So now we've got a 10-inch. Pull that away, please. Now I've got a 10-inch. Look at the toes on that. Now I have a 10-inch track that's right beside this shelter. So now I have a 14-inch track and a 10-inch track. Look at this structure. This is this is the bottom. There's the bottom. Or that's, sorry. This is the top of a tree. Here's my lovely assistant in the structure. Holy crap. Holy crap. Look at this structure. Wow. That is intricate and amazing.
A lot of room in here.
We're going to have to scour this thing for hairs. I mean, this is built. I can see weavings of... The trees are weaved in here. Holy crap. Do you see any hairs at all? Interesting to note that there's what looks like a break built into this. Look at this intricacy. Holy cow. Smart. Really smart. Wow. Again, see, look. no root, right? Look, no root. It's like 10 of these have no roots. Wow. And if these were all, might not look like much of a structure right now, but if there were pine needles on all this a couple years ago, this would have been a really nice viable structure. We're back at this structure that we've noticed before because it's just this one behind me. It looks like it was an actual shelter. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a possibility that it looks like they've added more to this. But what's crazy, and I love my smoking guns, I love my absolute, there's no way this could happen naturally, and we found that. So this tree was broken, you know, in an odd direction, which is, you know, maybe that could happen naturally. But when you follow it in, look at that. And it's twisted into the structure. So this is broken and twisted, like it would break this way, and that's fine. It didn't do that. It broke this way and then was twisted around and bent into the structure that's just full of trees that have no base. Look at this. No base. I mean, this is weaved in. No base. Right? You look at this one right here. Look at this one. No base. But that is smoking gun. I've actually never seen that before. Where, I mean, this is a large tree too. Look at that. It's about a 4-inch diameter, and it's broken and twisted in. And that's the second break on it. The first break is down here. And our Miss Kaylee has spent, actually, she has a tremendous amount of wilderness experience. Tell us about why you have outdoor experience.
Well, I have at this point 10 seasons of spring, summer tree planting. So I've been out in the woods in various locations all across Alberta and BC, both north and south, spending 8-9 hours a day for 3 months straight in the woods, camping in the woods, some pretty extreme locations only accessible by helicopter. But I haven't seen any structures like this before. This one actually caught my eye, having no background in any kind of structure building of primates whatsoever.
It's just more corroboration. You're building up evidence. I've seen 2 tracks out here that there's no arguing. Those are 2 tracks already. 2 more tracks coming up, at least, maybe 3, 4 more. Structures, breaks, and then the girls having an encounter. All these things are adding up to evidence, piece by piece. It's how they build cases in courts of law. It's how they accrue enough evidence to prove a species exists, and that's what we're doing. It's taking it step by step, working with these structures, trying to understand what's going on, and analyzing. So, man, we can recognize the girls from watching me and learning what I've done over the years came in here and recognized this is a Sasquatch habitat, and they reacted appropriately and started whooping, and they got their responses. So it's also having the knowledge and know how to recognize things and respond and act in an appropriate manner to encourage a result of proof that this hominid species is in a particular area, which is what they've done very successfully and what I'm here to substantiate, which I'm impressed beyond words. So this is, what is that? We're looking at 10 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So a 10-inch track, again, there's the toes in the top, heel busted out on the bottom. It's quite wide, quite profound. And it's in this wilderness. Upon even further investigation, what's impressive too is the birch tree that you can see here. Look at how, so this piece here was bent and twisted, and look at it, it's pushed under the birch tree. I gotta get an angle because it's so hard to see this, but I have to kind of break this up a bit. Hope it doesn't upset the Sasquatch. But now you can see the birch tree is woven and bent. Look at the bend on that birch tree. And remember, this is twisted and shoved under the birch tree. And now the birch tree comes. There's the birch tree, look. There's the birch tree. So this other tree here this tree is the one that's bent and twisted and shoved under that birch tree, and then the birch tree is under this tree. This is some pretty intricate weaving. Like, this is really I would challenge anybody to CSI this and try to show me how this couldn't happen naturally. The only way this could happen is a primate could do this. A bear, I mean, ridiculous to even assume nothing. A gorilla could come and do this. I haven't studied gorillas. I haven't studied gorillas in the wild, but I mean, this is just totally amazing to me. It blows my mind. It's incredibly cool. All the twists and turns and the weaving that it took to make this. And not only a primate, because human beings are primates and human beings could potentially do this, but I'm seeing ridiculous primate power. I mean, look at that birch tree is woven in there, and this break is impressive. The bust and twist off of a branch that's off of a tree that's 4 inches in diameter. I'm just impressed. And all these pine boughs that are in here.
Where did they come from?
You know, and I could see on the pine boughs they're all busted and shoved in there. They didn't. Where did and there's a lot of them. Look at all the pine boughs all through here. It's just impressive. And when you get into it, here, now look, it's like a little sheltered spot. Now, of course, the first thing you're going to think is, oh, why aren't you in there getting hairs? Well, yeah, that's reasonable. It's just, how many years old is this? How many layers of leaves do I have to go through? And we will, and we're going to do that, and we'll have a... But it's, you know, it's a lot of work. And are the hairs going to be viable sources of DNA? How many seasons have they been here? How many winters have they weathered? So, but obviously I'm going to have to make a point of it, come through here, not today, but on another day, and just dig through that, because I'm just so impressed with this. I don't see why a primate would go through all this trouble and then not at least sleep in it one day. You know, you make a fort, you're a kid. And we're not seeing the 17-inch track out here. We're seeing the 14-inch track. Or less. I think we even saw an 11-inch track. 12-inch track? We saw a 12-inch track and a 14. And a 12-inch track is a young guy. The 17-inch track is the big guy, and I'm not seeing any of his tracks around here at all. So you just like play tree forts when you're bored. Let's go show our primate strength and wreck some stuff.
The twisted tree break is just something very strange to me. I've never really, as it's incorporated into the structure, I've never seen anything like that. Like, that couldn't have just happened by itself.
You ever tried breaking trees or working with wood?
Definitely. A lot of breaking trees, sawing through them, while I was pine cone picking and tree planting, making my way through some pretty gnarly blocks, but it would take a lot of power to break something of that size.
Well, not just break it, but break it, twist it, and
Incorporate it underneath that birch tree. And the fact that there are so many smaller branches worked into the structure, it's clearly was made to be a shelter by something.
Okay, so what you just saw was me going through, this is a few years ago. This is right when I was in between filming the 2 Survivor Man Bigfoots. I had this area called the Bugaboos, and even the name the Bugaboos, let me tell you about that. So the native people call the area Don't Go There. This is where I first learned that term, Don't Go There. And the Scottish people named it Bugaboo, which translated, I've heard various different translations, it's Celtic, it's Scottish, because the Scottish people are the ones that settled there in the last 100 years or so, and they called it Bugaboo because they mean there's a big, hairy, scary creature running around the bush. Because the native people wouldn't name it, they just called it Don't Go There, which you can't name a place that. So I went there, or I was called to go there, didn't know about the Bugaboo term yet, so went out there, started investigating because these people had told me about an incredible encounter they'd had there. So I saw all the evidence you just saw. So I went and, so when I was filming with Survivor Man Bigfoot, I was using it as an alternative location. So we called the BC Film Commission, and this wonderful little lady, older lady who's been at the film commission for decades, I think, says she wouldn't let us film there. So we kept grinding on her, why can't we film there? She says, well, another production film there, it didn't go so well. So then she said, what's it for? And I told her it was for an episode of Survivor Man Bigfoot. She went, this is the BC Film Commission. The film commissioner said, oh, you should definitely go there then. And we went, what do you mean? She goes, because there's Bigfoot there. And she told us about the movie called Alive. There's a movie that was very popular back in I can't remember the exact year, but it was filmed by a major director who works with Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg. It's a Frank Marshall production, if I'm not mistaken. And he filmed this major picture. They came out to this area in Canada, in British Columbia, because it looks just like the spires where the plane crashed and people had to eat other people to survive. It's a very famous movie. And they couldn't finish the movie there because the Sasquatch were scaring the hell out of the crew and everybody. Can you believe that? So that's what the film commission told me. I met the film commissioner in person and talked to her about it. She was all, oh, absolutely. Oh, yes, that's absolutely true. The police came in there and wildlife officers came in there, and the Sasquatch were just so angry they had to leave and go to France to finish the film and spend millions of dollars because of Sasquatch. I would love to talk to Frank Marshall or somebody from that movie. But anyways, that's how I figured all this out, and what a hell of a story. It's not public at all. Nobody talks about this. I mean, this is a big deal, and this stuff happens all the time, and it just gets brushed under the rugs, and I'm astounded by this. I want to talk to the wildlife officers, the police that were out there protecting equipment when Sasquatch was smashing things and scaring a crew. What do you say? Like, how embedded into our culture is the reality of this species, and nobody's talking about it. So, pretty outstanding, amazing stuff. You can look up the bugaboos online. It's close to where I live. It's a wonderful research area, but the Sasquatch are very angry there, and that's what I learned, and I just went back to radium. So, and I stick with radium because I have so much success there. But anyhow, investigate it, look into it yourself. Pretty unbelievable, amazing stuff, but this is the reality of this discovery, people. You think it's all paranormal and weird, but it's a very accepted, known thing. Police officers, wildlife officers couldn't. Directors, major film production companies all quit because of Sasquatch. So, and I hear this stuff all the time. It's scary to think how well the lies and the conspiracy to hide this is. It's pretty unbelievable, but this is the way it is. So, thanks for tuning in today. Lots of new videos to come, so stay tuned for more. Thank you very much.